How to get a full-time job after college.
It's a 3-step formula.
Have a tailored resume, ace the interview, have great communication, and use your college or local resources. Why should you listen to me? Listen, I hate to say it, but your boy's been fired before. I major switch from computer science. I couldn't do it no more, man. And pretty much it took me 6 years to graduate. No, 7 years to graduate from college. Holy shit, I'm old. And I got a full-time job 5 months after graduation. So I had to do 5 months of just straight grinding, straight just application grinding, interview grinding, failing coding tests, doing interviews, losing the interview to someone else. So I feel like I have some knowledge that I could pretty much pass on to the next person that would be very beneficial to all of you. And on top of that, this is really the type of video that I would have benefited from when I was going to college, when I was a freshman, when I was trying to figure all of this out. This would have benefited me so much more. So I really want to make sure in this video I help at least one person. The current job market is good, but at the same time bad. It's in a very interesting place. I mean, I guarantee you either know someone who is struggling to find a job or struggling to find one in their field. Also, I guarantee you've probably either been fired before or you know someone who has been fired before. So overall, the job market is in a very interesting place. A question I often wonder is how much money do you need to be comfortable? If we research this topic, the average is around 90K. If you have a family, however, it's around 200K. I mention this because when considering a job or career path, it's very crucial to ask yourself, will this opportunity provide for myself and my family? Before we get into the job formula, I wanted to state that finding a job is like having a full-time job. So we have to remember to be consistent in the job search. And on top of that, we all have different situations. During my senior year, I was being proactive and applying for jobs daily. Maybe you can only apply for jobs 3 times a week and you have very limited time while doing so. Whatever your situation, be honest with yourself. If you truly are committed to finding a job or a career, you have to try to find that balance because it's key. It's literally everything. So before we get into the formula, I just want to state how competitive this is and why your resume matters. Because some people like to say you don't need a resume today, you maybe don't need LinkedIn, and it's really up to you if you want to have a LinkedIn, and we'll get into that more in the video. But first impressions matter, and it's due to this reason right here. Most hiring managers, they're just gonna glance at your resume and that's it. It's one glance, a couple seconds. Whether you get put into the trash pile or the right pile, you want to go to the right pile. So it goes back to that thing like I just stated, first impressions matter. Feel free to pause the video, check out my resumes, and just kind of look at the differences and see if there's anything you can like add to your resumes and change up. One version is obviously your default. So for me, my default was this left resume, the resume I was calling A. So this is resume A for me. This is my default. And then if I found a job that I really enjoyed, something that I really liked, and I was like, okay, no, this job, I love the culture of the company, like everything speaks to me. I would then use this resume B, because what I'm going to do is this is my tailored resume. That is the tailored resume. I'm going to now tailor it. I remember what I did for my current job. I legit printed out the whole entire application and I went from job duty to job duty to see exactly what that person does. And then I went into my resume and kind of changed words. I added some nice keywords to kind of just make my resume kind of a little bit beefier and tailored. Honestly, it goes straight into the word. Like I tailored my resume to the job that I found, like the one that I just didn't want to throw out the default resume. I was like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and tailor it. You know, I'm gonna get my resume and I'm gonna change it up, and that new version is the tailored resume that goes to that job. So usually what I do is I'd come down here, change the skills section, you know, kind of add in skills that are relevant to that job. If it's like a web developer job, because I was originally applying to a lot of programmer jobs, I would have then went in here and kind of changed some of the day-to-day, because back in my internship, I did a lot of stuff. I was a programmer. I was a project manager. We also did the art as well. So I was also a designer. So we did a lot of design work. Then we moved into development. So I kind of have like both sides of that experience. I just feel like having 2 versions of your resume makes it super easy, in my opinion, for the next couple steps steps. If you do this step right and you tailor your resume, when you have to then get ready for the interview and ace your interview, you know what to study on. To ace your interview, it's not that hard. It's really getting the interview in the first place is the real hard part. Because if you do it right, when you're applying for the job, the actual job posting, the job application, it's literally your homework. And I tried to show you guys multiple examples, even though most of these examples state that they are entry-level positions, and then they ask for 6 years of experience, like make it make sense. They're usually going to tell you what the major responsibilities, what your day-to-day tasks are, and overall what the business's mission is. And for you, the employee, the person applying for jobs, that just makes your job easier. Now I know what I need to research on if I ever get the interview. I forgot to bring up one of my main points, and I hate to say it, it is true. LinkedIn and Indeed are both useless. Now listen, I'm not saying I've never gotten a job from Indeed. LinkedIn I've gotten an internship from. Majority of the time, both of those platforms I've been scammed before. So the checks that I'm showing on screen, pretty much a job scam. And there's a lot of them where they send you a check, say you got the job, they just want you to deposit the money so that they get into your bank information and things of that nature. I'm still not sure what's the whole entire scam there. Like, do they just want you to deposit the money and they get your bank account information? I'm still not sure what's the end goal there. I would just say in theory, be super careful when it comes to these jobs. And my main advice, find these jobs on Indeed and LinkedIn, then go and do the research and find their company website and apply on the company website. Find the career page, apply on the career page. If they don't have a career page, then I guess apply on Indeed or LinkedIn. But I've seen way more success when I've applied directly on the company website. Now, when we're talking about communication, it simply just comes down to practice. I want to showcase that that's what I was doing my senior year. I'm not just talking out of my ass. I was simply trying to do the work. And as you guys can tell, I was failing a lot of interviews. And at the same time, don't be surprised to get stupid ass questions. I just got to be blunt with it. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Motherfucker, are you going to give me the job or not? If you can't get interviews, then you need to ask your parents, do mock interviews with your siblings, or simply talk to a fucking AI. You need to practice. So the last part where this all kind of comes together is actually obtaining the job. And sometimes we have to be real with ourselves and say that we need help. Most schools are gonna have some type of service like this. It comes up to the actual student to be proactive and make these type of appointments, to do mock interviews, to have them look at their resume and actually do changes. And then on top of that, most colleges have job fairs, career fairs, and I was going to those as well. And then lastly, if you're not in college, it's still not an excuse, because most cases, a lot of these colleges allow you to still use their career services even if you're not a student. You just need to fact check that, call the school, hey, can I still make an appointment? And they'll obviously tell you yes or no. Your local library is a gym. So like I said, if you're not a student, you're not going to college, your local library has a section for resume and also for starting a business. If you're someone that doesn't want to go to school, doesn't want to get a regular 9 to 5, they have a whole entire section on business. Go to your public local library and start reading, do the research.
Motherfucker, are you gonna give me the job or not?
お前は真実か私は私